The Peugeot 208 was in 2020 one of the first compact electric cars. How well does it hold up after 4 years and a facelift? My name is Bastiaan and welcome to Recharging. The electric Peugeot 208 stands on the EMP1 platform of Stellantis, together with many other cars. And together with the exterior and interior changes, and I have to say though, it is still a really good looking car, it also got a new drivetrain. At least that is what I thought, because apparently the old drivetrain with a 50 kWh battery pack and 136 horsepower is also still available for this car. And for €2,000 more, you can get the new and improved drivetrain with a 51 kWh battery pack, 156 horsepower and 0 to 100 in 8 seconds. And I really don't understand why the old drivetrain is still available when the new drivetrain is just better. Yeah, it's a really good looking car, isn't it? Especially in this color. I really like it. But anyway, the Peugeot 208 is a compact car, which also means the boot is compact. 265 liters with the seats up and 1106 liters with the seats down. And yes, a stroller does fit. And the answer is no, there is no frunk. And what it also does not have is the capacity to tow something, because it may not. And that brings me to more bad, but also good stuff in the good, the lovely, the bad and the ugly. Being a compact car, the Peugeot 208 also drives like a compact car, and I really like that. It weighs around 1475 kilos, and for an electric car that is not that much. It is just a really fun driving experience. The car feels agile and nimble. What Peugeot does really well in recent years is making interiors. It is not premium, but you do have the feeling you sit in something special. The car basically drives like a car with an internal combustion engine and automatic gears. There's only a drive mode and a brake mode, and even in brake the regen when you lift your foot off the accelerator is not that strong. And there is no one pedal drive mode. The starting price of this car is €35,000. More on that later. The updated drivetrain of Stellantis is not only more powerful but also more efficient. The WLTP range of the Peugeot 208 with the updated drivetrain is around 400 kilometers. And yes, I am driving that updated drivetrain. But can it reach that 400 kilometers in the real world? Well, during my test period, it is summer, it is between 20 degrees Celsius in the evening up to 30 degrees Celsius during the day. And I can tell you that yes, this car can reach its WLTP range. And because it has a relatively small battery pack, that means that sometimes I have a consumption of 12.5 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. And that is really good. At the moment I am driving on the highway around 100 kilometers per hour and I am doing 13 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Again, this is an efficient drivetrain. It is really good. And if you want to see more details, then watch my range test up here. And overall, this is just a really easy car to drive because there is basically nothing to configure. You just get in, you start the car and you drive. I mean, I cannot even configure to how much percent this car should charge. It always charges to 100%. For charging, there is a 11 kilowatt onboard charger as standard. That means charging from 0 to 100% will take you around 5 hours. For fast charging, the maximum fast charging speed is 100 kilowatts. Charging from 10 to 80% will take you around 25 to 30 minutes. Besides that, there is no preconditioning of the battery pack before fast charging, and the navigation does not plan charging stops. As I have already said, the interior of the 208 is a more special place to be in than your average car interior. I have to say, I like it. It is a unique interior, this 208. Unlike modern electric cars though, which give you a more roomy feeling, the interior of the 208 is more built in towards you, which gives you a more sporty feeling. What also helps with that sporty feeling is the new setup of Peugeot interiors. Or well, new, they already do this for a few years, but you have the smallest steering wheel and the driver display sitting a bit higher on the dashboard, so you look over your steering wheel. I have to say, for me this works fine, but I have heard stories of people where it doesn't work for them, so you really have to try it yourself. What is cool though in this GT line version is that the driving display is a 3D display. Again, looks really cool. And I would almost forget it, but under the infotainment system there is a cluster with some physical buttons for your climate control, your volume, your heated seats and some shortcuts. What about cubby space then? Well, your door pockets do fit a 1 liter bottle. Under the center armrest is a pretty big cubby. What is a bit clumsy though is that the armrest is hitting the seat when you lift it up. There are 2 cup holders here, some storage space here, a wireless charging pad for your phone. You can even put your phone like this if you want to. I don't know why, because there is Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And your glove box is really deep. And what about the infotainment system? Well, it is just a infotainment system. Nothing shiny or fancy. It does have support for wireless Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. But besides that, again, it doesn't bother me, doesn't blow me away. It is fine. Stellantis does have a new infotainment system though in their newer cars, and I really hope that with a future facelift that system will also come to this car. Then let's have a look at the space on the rear seats. The seat in front of me is in my typical driving position. I am 1 meter and 85 centimeters and my knees are hitting the seat. I can shove my feet under the seat in front of me though, so that is nice. And headroom, I do have a little bit of headroom left, but let's say that people taller than me can't sit here properly. Besides that, the car is not that wide, so sitting here with 3 adults is not recommended, also because there is no flat floor. Besides that, I do have a USB-C port and a USB-A port, and that's it. As I have already said, it is a fun driving experience driving this Peugeot 208. It feels agile, it feels nimble, and the smaller steering wheel that Peugeot is fitting is helping with that. Combine this smaller steering wheel with the instant power of the electric motor, and you do have a bit of a go-kart feeling while driving this car. Although I have to say that even though it is a fun experience, it is not really a sporty experience. A Ford Fiesta or a Mini, for example, are more sporty than this car. So how does it do on the highway then? Well, absolutely fine. Even though it feels agile and nimble on a B road on the highway, it feels stable even at higher speeds, and the car is also quiet for its size. You have good seats, plenty of adjustment in the seat and the steering wheel. The only thing is that for some people the setup with the smaller steering wheel and the higher dashboard does not work. Being a more compact but also an older car, not every driving and safety feature is available on this Peugeot 208. For example, it does have adaptive cruise control, but it doesn't have auto steer. So how happy does the electric Peugeot 208 makes me? Does it make me cry, sad, smile or grin? Well, if I look into my heart, it makes me grin. It makes me really happy because it does a lot of things that I love right. It is compact, it is good looking from the outside and the inside. It drives great, it is efficient and it has decent fast charging. There is only one thing, because if I look into my head, then there is the starting price. Because with a starting price of 35,000 euros, or actually 37,000 euros because you want the new drivetrain, this car is even 42,000 euros. It is at least 10 to 15% too expensive. And that was the review of the Peugeot 208. Thank you a lot for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and then as always, to be continued.